Meguiars 105 compound on lamb's wool with a machine. More time lapse. There we go. I haven't been coating it after washing the van, so that's my bad. Really bent that steer wheel up. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Mark here. So today I am going to do my best to get rid of the rest of the damage on the back of my van. If you recall, in the first video I worked on the driver's door and the front wing and a little bit more as well, and that came up quite nicely. To be fair, you know, not bad considering I did it on a driveway with limited everything, but I ran out of time and energy that day. So now, video 2, I thought we'd tackle this much worse bit, the bit where the initial impact took place. I say this was a hit and run that took place at the beginning of the year, while the van was parked on the main road just up the road from my house, and this is what we were left with. This was the initial impact. I'll whip out the broken wheel as well, and I'll show you that later on in the video, but you can see that I'm never going to get rid of the dent damage. Not intending on doing that. That needs a real specialist, obviously a dent repair or a body shop, but that big heavy old scuff, I think quite a bit of that will come out. Like I say, I had pretty decent success on the driver's door and the front wing on the first video. I'll put a link to that in the description or at the end of this video. And I've also sprayed up my new wheel trim so it can help to match up with the front. Just have a quick look. That one is actually a little bit scuffed, but you can see the front wing and the door are still looking pretty good, to be fair. But yeah, I'm gonna have a go at this today. I've got the time, got the energy, beginning of the day, get that wheel trim back on, and I'm also gonna brighten up these tyre stickers. These are original. These ones I bought about 3 years ago, I think it was. And so this has been the spare wheel since last year, last MOT, when I changed all 4 tyres and put a new set of tyre stickers on all of them. You can see the difference, they're much brighter, different quality. But shout out to TYRE stickers. I'll put a link to them in the description as well, because they've done really well. They've been on the van or on this tyre for years and they still look fine. So I'm going to brighten those up as well, get that wheel trim back on, but first and foremost it's to work on that nasty damage there, get rid of as much of it as I can, and see how we get on. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so just before I get on with this, I thought it's probably a good idea to explain what I'm trying to do here. And basically, I've got some old used 3M 3000 Trizact wet sanding discs. Just stick that on the block, wet the whole area, and then rub until I've got rid of most of the damage, or all of the damage that I can see. I'll try and probably rub some of this in the opposite direction, so then I can see these lines going that way. If I rub in the opposite direction, I've got a much better chance of seeing that those lines have disappeared. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to get this back to as it should be. This is just a tidy up job, so you know, who knows how it's going to end up. But my plan is, like I say, 3000 3M Trizact, opposite direction this time, because this is really heavy damage. And then we'll go from there. I'll clean it up with some alcohol, see what it's looking like, and then we'll get on to the next stages. But that initially is what's going to be taking place in the time lapse. Okay, so it's not looking great at the moment, I think you'll probably agree, and there's guys out there that are well into this and much more skilled than me with paintwork that are probably going, what on earth are you doing? But anyway, it is improving in places. I can definitely see and feel that, but some of this damage is just too big. You know, it's just some really deep gouges here, big old dent here, they're really hard impact. But I think overall it seems to be going the same way as when I worked on the door and the front wing. So I'll carry on with this for a little bit. I'll do this is a vinyl bumper wrap, so this is going to be completely different, like I found on those bumpers that are vinyl covered. reacts completely differently obviously to paintwork, but I'll try and improve that as well if I can. It seems really badly scuffed, so I'm not sure how that's going to come up at all, but this seems to be going in the right direction. I just don't know how far I can push it, because paintwork is not my thing, and I'm willing to experiment here because it's my van and I just want to make it look better on the cheap. So we shall see how it goes. I'll carry on, we'll hit that bit, I'll do a little bit more on this, and then we'll move on to the next stage and see if we can get it to come through. Started spraying my wheel with a bit of soap and water as well, because I'm going to give that a scrub later and try and get these TYRE wall stickers looking a bit nicer. So let's continue. Okay, so that's as far as I'm prepared to push the paintwork with the 3000 discs. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Like I say, this is all a bit trial and error, to be fair, going by what happened earlier on the other video with the front of the van, and I'm no expert at the paintwork, so that's as far as I'm prepared to go with that. Now it's going to be compound on a lamb's wool with the machine. I'll probably end up working a big area, sort of working outwards, and I'll go up to the pinstripe and just work out to a wide area. This here, no chance. I think the bumper vinyl's just been thinned out too much. It's really heavy damage actually. It's quite a big old dent there, so they really did catch it quite heavily. So yeah, Meguiars 105 compound on lamb's wool with a machine. More time lapse. Okay, so still not great, and you're probably screaming at your screens about what I'm doing wrong, certainly with the sun, but I'm on a bit of a time limit here as well, so I can't really afford to wait or move the van or anything, so I'm just having to work with the sun, which is not ideal. But that's, again, I think that's done with the 105, and what I'm going to do now is just pass over it a few times with the 205 Meguiars polish and see how it ends up looking. And that's all I did for the front door and the front panel, and they turned out pretty good. But like I say, the damage here is so much heavier, I think I'm probably fighting a bit of a losing battle, to be fair. But we'll continue. I'm doing what I can to try and make it look nicer. Looking forward to cleaning that up and getting my wheel trim on, and then at least that looks a bit less in your face. But yeah, a bit of time lapse on the polishing. Fingers crossed it will come up looking a bit nicer than it does at the moment. Okay, cheers. So that's the polishing done, the 205. I ran into a few problems with the van being in the direct sunlight and it's black, so obviously it was far too hot. I know better, but I didn't move the van. But I did, moved it back into the shade, and I've finished this area now with the 205. It's probably as much as I'm willing to do just for the moment. I could come back and do more another day, maybe, but it looks a lot better. I'll get it back out in the sun when I've finished it. What I'm going to do now is clean up these tyre wall stickers and try and give the tyre a bit of a scrub as well, where it's been living under the van and getting all grubby, and pop the wheel trim back on, and then I will show you the finished result, so to speak. Hey peeps, how you doing? Right, okay, so I've finished with the van for now. I might come back to it another day. Before I show you that, let's have a look. I pulled the wheel out, that was the one that was on the van when it got hit. Can you see that? That's quite a hard hit, I think you'll agree. Really bent that steer wheel up. I've yet to replace that, so obviously I'm still using the spare, as you know. Shame, because that's quite a good tyre on that as well. It wasn't too long after these tyres have been replaced for the MOT last year. But yeah, that's the wheel, that's the state of that. Gives you some idea how hard it was hit. But there you go, can't be helped. Let's have a look. Let's try and catch this in the best light. I've pulled it back into the light. So yeah, you can still see that dent damage, and obviously the scratches, there's still quite a nasty gouge in it and all sorts. I know that, but overall, when I pull back in a second and you look at the whole van from back here, I think, for example, that looks, I've got it in. There we go. I'll do some proper after videos anyway, but yeah, you know, wheel trim, yeah, I'm probably going to have to get that to a body shop and get it sprayed properly, because my plastic primer and rattle can job isn't that great. But for now, on that spare wheel, cleaned up the tyre wall stickers. As I say, they're really old, they're doing amazingly well. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that overall. Next on the list is the bonnet. Got to get that redone. It's been on there for 3 or 4 years now, I think. Really starting to peel. I haven't been coating it after washing the van, so that's my bad. So that is next on the list. So there you go, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.